ask you is, how'd you get here, man? Like, what'd you have to overcome down at that end to believe in yourself, to be able to say, no, I can do something else?
Shout out to all the moms, right? No, but in all seriousness, a huge factor that played a role was like my mom. So my mom was working 16 hours a day, every single day, just to make sure that my brother and I had what we needed. So for me, I was like, geez, man, even if the odds are against me, like, I gotta do something, all right? And I was fortunate enough to actually have teachers who believed in me and pushed me when I couldn't believe in myself. You know, we didn't have all those resources. And I think it's also kind of telling where it's just like, even ending up at Penn State, like, I applied for 13 different scholarships. They all said no, except one. And the thing is, the only reason I got the opportunity to apply for this one scholarship was because this nonprofit in Philly, which supports inner city schools, they decided to start a pilot program at my high school. And I was actually selected by a teacher who I built a great relationship with. And so even for me, in my circumstances, I had the right opportunity. And if all those things didn't happen, I wouldn't be here. Because imagine getting like I got into all the schools I applied to, but I was like, oh, okay, like I can't afford them. So I needed to apply to scholarships. If I didn't get that one scholarship, I wouldn't be standing in front of you today. And I had to deal with being in the right time, right place, and the right time, surrounded by the right people, even in my circumstances. And it's one of few.
And believing in yourself.
Oh, and believing in myself. And it's like believing that I actually had a chance, right? Even if the averages said otherwise, trying to believe in myself and being surrounded by teachers who actually believed in me when I couldn't see it for myself. As a matter of fact, funny story, right? I actually was interested in Penn State, but and they came to my high school, and I actually decided not to apply because I just thought I couldn't get in. And I had a teacher that said, Will, what are you doing? You're a good student. Why don't you just apply and see what happens? I was like, I don't have the SAT scores. I worked hard. It just didn't work out. They said, apply anyway. And I was able to get in. So it's not even just about believing in myself. It's also about having mentors that believe in you when you can't see it for yourself. Because sometimes when everything around you is saying no and everything around you is saying, I can't make it, and it's not just believe in yourself, work hard, man. No, you need someone to inspire you in the darkest of your moments.
You know, it's like, I think people sometimes, especially a lot of folks in here who have parents who are professionals, and you know, when you grow up, say like me, like, well, I don't know how many PhDs did you interact with? How many
none.
professional people, doctors, lawyers?
No, none.
So when you grow up like us, right? I mean, it's different, right? Because I grew up in Toledo, you grew up in Philly, but you know, nobody went to college in my world. Nobody, man. And like, the idea that I could maybe do that is just as profoundly next to difficult as it would be for you to grow up and decide that you wanted to actually be a court stenographer.
Right.
Or you want to just drive a dump truck.
Right.
Because for the boys in here in particular, when you were like 3 years old, the only thing you wanted to do was drive a dump truck or a fire truck or control one of those big cranes, because that's all little boys want to do, and some girls as well. And you could have grown up to do that, but you didn't, and your parents wouldn't have let you do that. It just like got knocked out of you.
Exactly.
There's no way that would have happened. It's not possible. Well, it's also not possible for a lot of other people, especially people down at this end of that line, to imagine that one day they're going to be a doctor, lawyer, architect, whatever the case is.
Right, and actually to even add to that, right, so at my high school, right, like I said, I was fortunate enough to like have teachers that believed in me. So now I'm stepping into the classroom, man, here I am, energetic, young person. I'm like, man, I'm here to make an impact. I'm at this school, I'm at my placement school teaching, and at least in my school, I would say, yeah, like college was a thing, but also some people didn't go to college. But I'm an 11th grade high school teacher, and I'm asking students, okay, like, who here wants to go to college? Show of hands, right? You know, I did the same thing I did here, there, and then people were like, oh, what? Like maybe 3 hands rose up. I'm like, what do you mean? I was like, wait, college? You know, I mean, yeah, you know, college isn't everything, but like, come on, college? Only 3 people out of 30 kids in my classroom? You're not serious. So I'm like, so even coming from Philly, going back to Philly, going to a different neighborhood, it was different circumstances that led to different outcomes. 3 students, whereas maybe in my school, maybe half the kids would raise their hand. But here, 3 out of 30, 1 in 10. I was like, geez. And you know what's funny? 1 in 10 students from low-income backgrounds actually make it to college, right?
And that's right. And how many end up graduating, right?
Right.
And for you, like, how many students at your school in Miami didn't go to college? 3. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's like the professions is like, okay, I'll just go into carpentry. I'll go into a vocational tech. And the thing is, yeah, we need blue collar workforce. We need vocational techs.
Yeah.
But at the same time, for it to not even be an option, for it to not believe in ourselves, I think a lot of us toot our own ego. Yeah, I got it from the mud. No, you didn't, man. Relax, bro. You're not even aware of like the people that inspired you, and you think you did it from yourself. Self-made. I don't believe it.
So for me, Will, the one thing I say often is, I'm not gonna. Everybody works hard, right? So listen, if you're in this classroom, your parents made a lot of money, they paid for everything. You have your one of your parents' credit cards right now. You have no idea. You just spend it, you use it, you don't think about it. It doesn't matter. You're driving a really nice car. All of that. It doesn't mean you don't work hard. I'm sure you work hard. I'm sure there are some of you who are really lazy and annoyingly lazy. And I would hate to have you as a kid to get all that free stuff and you're lazy. But whatever. But most of you still work hard. You don't get an A in OChem. You don't walk into OChem and you just get an A because, because you're rich and you're privileged and all that. No. You still work. You still got to study.
Exactly.
It's all good. But the issue is this. When you're one of these people down at this end of this spectrum, and you have the idea that the only reason you got there is because you work hard, and the people down there could do the same thing as you, that's where my sociological self will, that's where I start to breathe fire. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yo, Sam, real quick, so I know we're running a little. What are your thoughts on like getting a question or two? We've said a lot. I wanted to actually see if anyone actually has a question or a response or a comment on the things that we've been talking about, right? We talked about a lot. Inequity, all schools are not equal, right? We talked about different access to schools. We talked about, hey, we all work hard, but hard work plus opportunity is what equals success, not just hard work, right? I'd love to hear some responses, questions. Let's get to it, and let's be fast, too. Here we go.
Go ahead.
Oh, let's start right here.
Wait, you got a question?
Yeah, he has a question, too.
All right, go ahead, man. Go ahead, Brad.
So you mentioned that you have studied the actual issues sociologically and economically.
Yes.
What are some of the solutions that you personally or like your group came up with to, solve this issue on a bigger level?
Dude, it's a solution, dog.
This guy, honestly, sign up for he wants to be part of Teach for America. So, real quick, I mean, the issues, it's like everything we talked about today, right? It's like simple things like not having resources that, like, all kids work hard, but not having the resources to, like, actualize that potential, right? And we notice that opportunity is distributed across lines of class, race, zip code, literally and figuratively. We just talked about the property taxes. Awesome. We have another question right here.
Wait, hang on. I want to say one thing, though.
Oh, yeah.
Look, one solution that you have, my friend, is that you can't change, like next September, you can't suddenly send a lot of resources into a low-income school.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so people down at that end suddenly, they're going to have all these resources. Maybe not you all, but people that come after you. You can't do that. But what you can do is send some really highly motivated teachers into some school. People that can be role models and can really have that energy, man.
I love that you added that part, right? Because I left off solution, right? So look, a lot of us, when we talk about inequity and injustice, we think it's this like large thing outside of us, but no. Especially the classroom, it is a microcosm of the world in inequity, right? So it's like, as Sam is saying, we're sending highly motivated leaders and teachers into the classroom. For one, we do that in underserved areas so that you are getting proximate to our nation's injustices, right? A lot of us had resources to study the SAT, and now you're going to go to law school, go to medical school, do whatever, make policy and make change, but you still don't know what it's like in underserved communities. So until you actually are in it and understand how the system works, you won't be able to change things, and change is slow.
Yeah, and so just you give it a couple of years and you're killing it.
Right, we have a question right here.
All right, go ahead, man.
For like the thing that you work for, like the Teachers for America, I think.
Yeah, Teach for America,
Teach
man,
for
my
America.
guy.
Would that ever be something like Teach for like the whole world, or something like that?
Yeah, no. I love that. We have Teach for All, brother, right? There's a global issue, right? We're talking about issues here in America, but it's a global phenomenon. Because in America, we say it's the land of the free, the home of the brave, the land of opportunity. Yet 16 million kids living below the poverty line, half don't graduate. Perfect question. Let's get some more questions. Here we go. Man, nobody in the back has a question? Don't be sleeping back there, man. We're going to come and check. Thanks so much, man.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a question about how do we help lower income people, their mentality with, if we give them resources, how can we help them accept the idea that they can go to college or move on?
Well, no,
because I've worked in areas of lower income, and I had a kid who we were talking, and he didn't even want to go to high school, and he was 10 years old. So how do we help the family systems and the kids believe that they can go farther?
Yeah, and again, it's not, I want to be really clear. It's not just go to college. Because it's also just like opening one's mind to the world in some new ways, right? So yes, this is a really good question.
No, that's a very important question, right? So it's like, how do we help people facing impossible odds believe in themselves? And this is why we have our approach, right? We need passionate, promising leaders to step into the classroom. And just like, did you ever have someone make you, have you ever felt like you couldn't believe in yourself and someone helped you believe in yourself? Yeah, you.
Here, wait, hang on. It's on.
We did a pool that was for lower income families.
Right.
It was a grant by the government, and
Right.
you just have to we would work with them they would get so excited when they would go to summer school and come back and tell us they got an A. So I think it was just being a positive force for them.
Right.
And encourage them that, yeah, you got this. You're smart enough.
Exactly. Just like people have made you believe in yourself, but the thing is now we're working with population, working in underserved communities that have way more odds against them. So we just need a little bit more encouragement. We need people that are willing to step in and step up, build genuine relationships, and be humble. Not here to be a savior, because all people have the potential and all people can believe in themselves. They just need a little bit more encouragement facing impossible odds. Here we go. Yeah, push it up, man.
So for Teach for America, what's kind of the timeline that people go through? For example, if I want to do it, what would happen? Basically, what's the timeline for someone to get the training and to go into the field?
Perfect. So you are trained. You go to a 6 to 8 week intensive training program the summer after you graduate. And then you get a coach from Teach for America. You get ongoing training and support throughout your 2 years teaching. Right? So that way, 6 to 8 weeks, that's not fully enough, but you're going to get continued ongoing support to make sure that you can make an impact and expand opportunities for all kids. And then after your 2-year commitment, a lot of people do stay. But like I said, we offer pathways to leadership, 100 graduate school partnerships, and we have an alumni network of 60,000 members strong in all different sectors that you can leverage to make an impact. All right, great question.
Hey, over here. Yeah.
I'm curious to see, where do you think you would have ended up if you didn't?
Wait, who's speaking? Can you raise your hand real quick? Oh.
Where do you think you would have ended up without those small little opportunities that you had, just with the hard work? Where do you think you would have ended up?
Man, that's a great question. Where do I think I would have ended up? I don't know, man. Right? You could say the stereotypical answers. Dad in jail, man. Sheesh, man. Maybe I could have been working at a thrift store. Right? Maybe I could have been in a similar place at a different school.
Dude, maybe you'd have been a fashion designer and really successful. Look at you, man.
Maybe, but like, it's a hard question because like, but the thing is, we can only speculate at this point, right? We can say the typical answers based on our averages. That's the definition of sociology. But individuals surpass averages. But the thing is, on average, they don't. Great question.
Anyway.